What is up? My name's Anthony and you're watching Crypto Ride. Today we're going to bring you another Chainlink update video. It's been 2 weeks since I made my Chainlink price levels for the month of November, but as I always do, whenever there's a significant change or move on the charts, I always try and make a video to reflect those updates and let you guys know where I think the price is going next. If it's your first time stopping by the channel, Crypto Ride is the YouTube channel that helps you responsibly navigate cryptocurrency through crypto news videos, technical analysis videos, and crypto project review videos. The project that we have been committed to and covering the most, as you guys probably know, is Chainlink, and that's exactly what we're going to talk about today. Before we do that, let's just get into the market and just talk about what Chainlink's doing in relation to everything else. So on CoinGecko, we are looking at Bitcoin. If we look at the 24 hours, you can see most of the cryptos are in the red. Bitcoin itself fell down below $8,500, so we'll have to keep monitoring that and see what's going on. Down 8% over the last 7 days. As you look down this line, you can see most coins are down in the top 25, but Chainlink at number 13 is up 10% in the last 7 days, sitting at $3 right now. As I mentioned to you guys in my last video, $3 is that psychological price point. It's that level that we really wanted to watch. So I'm not entirely surprised to see it kind of level off here after it had all the wild moves, but it did go as high as roughly, I think, $3.18, which I was really, proud of myself because I was saying it could go as high as $3.19 or $3.20. So I kind of called that, but of course, I'm not one to make predictions. For me, I just like to talk about the probabilities, but it was pretty cool to see that actually work out. I'm still learning technical analysis too. I'm always learning, always reading. And one of the things I try and do on this channel too is I'll try and teach you what I'm seeing as I see it. And we go through these videos here. So hopefully you'll learn a little bit something by watching this channel. Also, if it's your first time stopping by Crypto Ride, don't forget to subscribe. In the bottom right corner of your screen, activate the bell notification so you can stay informed on that. Let's take a look at the Chainlink charts. I'd like to start here on the weekly time frame, which is a time frame I don't look at much on this channel, or at least I haven't in the past, but one I'm definitely getting more into as time passes, and I'll tell you why. As we get into the daily and the weekly time frames, really can look at the big picture a little bit more. At first I didn't like those because I thought they didn't give me as much information as, say, the 4-hour charts. I was really into those. But now I'm kind of starting to realize as I'm more of a long-term investor and a swing trader and not so much of a day trader, the weekly and the daily charts give you the more pertinent information, So let's take a look at these levels. So to the upside, we're just going to talk about potential resistance and then support here. To the upside, you can see this. $3.39 was a level of resistance that we hit back on June 24th when we had our all-time high of around $4.60. But what's significant about that is that's where the candle closed. So I'm not so concerned with this wick. I'm more concerned with these candles closed. You can see the next weekly candle closed right around the same level, and then right around the same level still fell a little bit lower. So that's going to be a really important level to break past. Again, these wicks, they don't really mean quite as much. It's just volatility, but it's where the candles close, especially these weekly candles. Really important stuff here you have to pay attention to. Now on the downside, we've got $2.52, which I think will act as really strong support if it were to fall that low. And you could look at all the resistance that we had here, and that was a lot. That was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks in a row where that price point itself was acting as a steady resistance on a weekly time frame. So if this price were to fall, I think we'd get serious support around the $2.50 mark. Next thing I want to do is I want to talk about this uptrend. And the name of this video itself, I said, when $4? When do we think that the Chainlink price could hit that $4 price point again? Because that's another psychological level. It's a level that I think for myself as an investor, that's a level I'm really hoping to see. So, that's probably a question on your mind too. When could we see it? And not when could we see it on a wick, but when can we see it safely? And when can we see the price hold there? So in the uptrend that we established back in September, we can see we're kind of holding to it. This actually looks even better on the daily if you look at this. If we were to continue this out right around January 2020, so a month and a half from now, if this trend were to hold, and the old saying is the trend is your friend until the end, right? So when trends are happening and they are strong, like this one seems to be, and you can see here's the 50-day moving average. We're going to talk more about that in a minute, but we're way above that. We're way above, I'm not showing it, but we're way above the 100-day moving average, the 200-day moving average. It's pretty impressive. But if we just continue along this trend line, we could be looking safely and comfortably at that $4 price point by January. And I'm not talking about a bubble. I'm talking about slow, steady, consistent growth. But what I want to do next is zoom in right here. We're going to talk about kind of what happened, right? The other thing I wrote in this thumbnail of this video is that it's been a roller coaster. So let's just talk about that and see what that looks like. So what I've done now is introduced a new line on this chart, which is this yellow one. And this yellow line is the 20-day exponential moving average. And moving averages, we've talked a lot. We talked about moving averages in some detail on the Litecoin video, but here's some information you might want to know about the exponential moving average. It's a moving average that places greater weight and significance on the most recent data points. So it functions just like a regular moving average, but as opposed to taking an average over all the time frames, it puts a heavier weight on the more recent. So they end up being a little bit more volatile, but they can also tell you and show you trends a little bit quicker as they develop. Like all moving averages, this technical indicator is used to produce buy and sell signals based on crossovers and divergences from the historical average. Traders often use several different EMAs, for instance, 20-day, 30-day, 90-day, and 200-day. I've seen a lot of people in my experience talk about the 20-day, and that's the one that's coming into play here. You have to look at what lines are coming into play at any moment. I could talk about the 50-day moving average, but there's really not much to say. We're way above it, and it's extremely bullish. That's great. But what line are we flirting with right now? Because that could give you an indication of where the support might be. And you can see this 20-day exponential moving average is right below our trend line too. And you can see we wicked down to it right here, and then we bounced off it, which is a great sign. So next thing I want to do is zoom in to the 4-hour chart for you guys. So what you're looking at right here is the picture that you saw in our thumbnail. And it really does look like a roller coaster. And one thing I haven't done yet, I want to see how big this move actually was. So if you say we started this move right at the end of this red one, that's when things got exciting, right around November 13th. So we rose 13.35% over a 24, maybe like a 36-hour period this week. That was a huge move. That was $2.78 all the way up to $3.16. But then we came right back down. And this may have scared you if you don't know much about technical analysis, but I want to point this out. When you see this drop low and then close like this, this is indicating, it's called a spike, and it indicates a short-term bottom. So basically what that shows is the price fell, but it got pushed out of there really hard. There was actually a lot of volume coming into this, but it's really positive that it closed on the upside. And then you had a couple green candles on not quite as much volume, but we did push out here. We've seen the volume drop a little bit over the last 4 hours. I wouldn't call it a cause for concern, but it is something to point out. Now, the other thing that we're looking at here, I've got the 30-day. So you can see, let me talk about this. It's the exponential moving average, the 20-day, but I also want to show you we did fall below the 30-day, and now the 30-day is acting as support. So that's something to keep an eye on moving forward. But this pullback here, we had a retracement. We went up, and then we retraced back down. Totally healthy. We stayed above the trend line, so that is not a cause for concern. So if you were wondering what was going on, I'm not concerned about this yet personally, and I don't think you should be either. Keep an eye on this $2.93. That's the 30-day right now. And of course, if we drop below $2 and about 90 cents, then we could be falling below this trend line. With more support, of course, down by the $2.50 point. But I don't really see certainly that happening right now. Most likely, I think probability is telling us that this trend is really strong. This is showing that it's probably a short-term bottom. This is a nice, healthy correction. I like this $3 level for us right now. Personally, what I would like to see, and I'm not in business of making predictions, but I would like to see this price just kind of bounce around sideways here because now we've got a little bit overheated as far as the trend line goes. So I'd like to see it bounce around on decent volume for a couple days, just kind of flatten out as it's gotten a little bit crazy. I don't know that it'll actually happen, but if we hit $4 by Christmas or New Year's, that would be one heck of a Christmas present. I would love that. And I'm sure a lot of you guys would too. I know a lot of people out there hold this thing. It's, you know, a lot of people make these technical analysis videos and they're talking about coins that they're trading, but I make these for you guys. And what I've noticed about the Chainlink Marines is that really more of us are hodlers than anything, and we're not really getting in and out of this thing. So that's where we're at right now. And another thing that I'll do as time passes is I'll put out news links. Even when I'm really busy, I'll tweet out different links to different news articles. So make sure to give me a follow on here if you want to stay in touch that way too. Also, don't forget to share the video and subscribe to the channel. These are exciting times for Chainlink holders. And for crypto in general. I know it's been a weird week, a little bit volatile, but don't sweat it. I never sweat the short-term stuff, especially in cryptocurrency, where these markets are young, they're still emerging, and they're incredibly volatile as a result, just like the internet was in the early and mid-90s. Keep that in mind, enjoy the ride, and I'll see you guys next time.